Can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and what brought you here?
My name is Reese. I am from Delta region of Myanmar. Back in the day, it was known as Burma, and we migrated into Thailand uh, back in 2000, if I'm right, 2004. I was about 4 years old when I got to the refugee camp in Thailand, and then 5 years after, the United Nations said that, um, oh, do you guys want to come to America? And then my family was a part of the group that was able to like apply. And so we applied and then we were able to come to the US, to the United Nations. And ever since 2009 or 10 or 7, I'm not sure. But ever since then, we've been in America.
How has your journey as a refugee or immigrant shaped who you are today?
Um, like the personal experience that I went through back in back in Burma teaches me how grateful I should be today, and also how how blessed I am with the opportunities that I have here. Because back home, even if you wanted to be something, you can't because like the opportunity that's provided is not there. And so like here is like like the American dream or whatever. It's like the land of opportunity. It's really true because here you could really be anything you set your mind to.
Speaking of that, can you tell us about how you first got into music and how music has helped you express or process your journey?
So like music has always been like a part of me. My dad, we used to have like cassette tapes. That's where I started listening to cassette tapes when the rest of the world was listening to like MP3 players. And in Thailand, that's when I started listening music. And when we came to America, um, my dad, he, smart man, he brought a whole bunch of cassette tapes from back home because he knew it was essential. So he brought it over here, and then, um, I, I just like kept listening to those music, and then some like when we first came to America, like we were just amazed by everything. And so like there was a thing called garage sale. And then like every Saturday he would be like, "You want to go garage sailing?" And I'm like, I was super excited because it was cheap. And then like he bought me a bike, and then I would just like follow him around with the bike. And then we would go around like the neighborhood buying up all this old equipment, and we would see like cassette tape, like Walkman. Like I used to like carry those like around me and just like listen to the cassette tapes.
What kind of music do you make and what inspires your sound?
Um, I like to make pop music mainly, but sometimes leaning a little bit towards the hip hop. And a lot of things have inspired me. A few of them from childhood, but most of them are from modern music that I listen to. I'm influenced a lot by Post Malone and some of um, like the rhythm or all that stuff. I mean, from Travis Scott and like the style of it and the sound. But mostly pop though, yeah.
How does your background or culture influence your music?
My background, like I was saying before, I've always like loved listening to music as a kid, and I think like a portion of that kind of like instilled within me some type of music mind or like talent, whatever. And then what was the second part of the question?
Um, how does your culture influence your
Oh.
music?
My culture, yeah. I think my culture, we are like heavily involved in like music. Um, Different region, of course, and Southeast Asia. And in fact, if I'm right, my people is the only people or like nation in the world that has a musical instrument on their flag. It's a golden drum. It's on the flag, and if like a lot of things that they do in the past um, are not very modern, but what has like shaped me more is like the music that I grew up listening to, which is like pop, and I still like love the oldies, and but most of it is like the modern music that I listen to, which is like Post Malone, like I mentioned, and sometimes Justin Bieber, Travis Scott, all
What's your favorite memory or proudest moment while making music?
I think my proudest moment was making the song that you've heard. That one song, it's called Kenyo. That song just kind of like came naturally. I was in the studio, just like made the whole song like less than an hour. That was one of my proudest moments. And another one is when I was going to perform in South Dakota. Um, because of like the music that I made, it reached to like a lot of people, and then a few of my friends who've heard it, they're with an organization. They're called I Am Ganya. They support a lot of movement back home, and they asked me to perform and just like help out, with the sound and stuff like that. And I was able to go to like South Dakota, um, Huron, and then I was like able to perform there, and I think that was like my proudest moment because I didn't think I was gonna ever like perform on stage like that with that many crowd, but because of what I do, I was able to, and I didn't even like like I said, I didn't even think that I was gonna make it over there, so that was really cool.
What's your biggest dream for your music?
Um, you know, I'd love to travel the world and like have a world tour, of course. But I think what's more important than that is like having a positive impact in somebody's life and making a difference in a positive way to them, in their small areas of life. And I think that would be, to me, the most important thing.
What advice would you give to other immigrants or refugees who are chasing creative passions?
I think we're like being presented with an opportunity of life, and I think one of the greatest thing we can do is to create. And if you have that creativity mindset, I say go for it. You know, do what you can do, and make a positive impact in somebody's life with that.
Okay. One last question. What's the favorite song you've made or one that means the most to you?
I think it would have to be Gagnon, the one that you listen to, because it's from personal experience, and it's also about the history of my people and the current situation that is still going on today after 70 plus years. Just being able to make that song, and have people listening to it is a great accomplishment to me.